Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET Englishtown.
Hello everyone, this is Madeline, teacher again, and we are teaching Monday, Wednesday, Fridays to A class, and we are doing July 29th lesson, and today's lesson is in the Just Right book, and we are doing pages 132 to 135. We are going to be talking about editing and publishing. So take out your Just Right books, and we will go to pages 132, okay? So students, today we are talking about editing and publishing. Editing and publishing, yes. So, editing is when you take one story you made before, and you make it better. Oh, thank you, Sarah. And you make it better. So you make the sentences long. Oh, better no. You make it better. You make the sentences longer. You make the words more interesting. You tell more detail in the story. It is like revising, but you don't only fix mistakes, you also change the words. So, for instance, I write the sentence, I run. We talked about before, I run. Is it a fun sentence? No. Alice says no. What do you think, Sarah?
Oh, teacher, you need this paper lining in the paper.
You want a paper to write notes?
Yes.
Okay, you can have it. This one you don't need to write notes. Oh, I don't have lined paper. Yes, I do have. Okay. This one I don't think you can write just notes in your book. There will be very short notes today. So, when we have I run, we can make the sentence better. We can say, I run to the house quickly. Oops, sorry. Quickly. So now the sentence is better because it is longer and more interesting. So, yeah, this is editing. It can also be called sometimes revising. Yep. So, this is what we are going to talk about today. And today for your homework, you are going to take one journal you wrote before. Actually, no, not one journal. You will take one story you wrote before and you will make the story better. You will write again, but more interesting. Okay?
Okay.
So, tell me when you're finished writing and I will erase this. I will move back so the video can see too.
Okay.
You guys are a lot quieter on the video than you are in normal class. I don't want this. I want no Korean speaking.
Ah, okay.
Okay. So,
Yes.
finished?
Yes.
Okay. So, the next part is let's look at the book. Okay, so this one is about editing. So, we see the first paragraph. It says, after you have written a story, is it a good idea, or it is a good idea to read it again to see if there's any way to make it better. When it is as good as you can make it, you can turn the story into a book by adding a cover and pictures if you want. So that part is publishing. Publishing is when you take one story and you make a book. We will not publish in this class because we are not going to make one book, but we will edit our stories and we will make them very good. Okay? So the first step is selecting a story. Who wants to read about selecting a story? Alice.
The first step is to choose one of the stories you have been writing in this book. This is the one you will publish. Find the story that you think is most interesting or the one that was the most fun to write.
Good. Yeah, so when we are editing a story, when we are making a story better, we want to find one story that is not very bad story. We want to find one of the stories we like that we wrote before, that we can write again and make it better. Okay? So, in a little bit, I will give you some time to check the story. After you find the story, you find one story that you think is fun, funny, or interesting. The second step is what? Leo, will you read the second step?
No.
No?
Okay, the second step is to make sure the concept makes sense. You've already practiced this with the concept revision checklists. Just to make sure you haven't left anything out. Don't worry yet about punctuation or capital letters.
Yeah, so revising. We don't need to fix mistakes. It is not journal rewrite. We want to fix sentences. Tell everything that we need to say in the sentence. All sentences, we need to know person. We need to know what the person does. We want to know why the person does, how the person feels, where. All the details we want to know, okay? So here, students, I'm going to give you some time. So look in your book. Janice, you don't have a book. Do you have a journal book? Journal book, no?
What is the
Just journal.
letter?
Do you have a journal? So students, we are going to look in our book and find one story that we write before we like. So look through your book and find. We have some pages like this one. We wrote one story. Or this one, we wrote one story. Find one story that you wrote that you think is a funny story, okay? And then tell me when you find your story that you like. Yeah, if you have one, yeah, we can rewrite this one. So you have to make one thing better. So if you want to write this one, you have. Do you have a journal book or no journal book? And the one that I have is not, it doesn't have the journal. Okay, so then we'll just use this one today. Because we have to find one story you wrote before.
Hey, Madeline.
Yes.
Please read my letter journal.
Your red journal? You have one good story. So next time, Leo, we will write one story in the journal. But today you need to find one story in this book that you like.
Okay.
So let's find one story you wrote. Is this a good story?
Okay.
Do you think it's a good? You read. You think it's a good story?
I don't know.
What about this one? Is it a good story?
Oh, picture very good. Yes.
Okay, this one? Okay, you pick. You pick, Leo. You go through your read.
Wow.
Sarah, did you find one story you liked?
I am Picasso.
Yes, very cute picture. You wrote, look at Leo. Here is the starfish. You wrote, there is a starfish. He is cute because Leo drew the starfish. That is what you wrote. You think funny? I think funny too. So Sarah, you have to pick one story you like, okay? So go and look at the pages and you find one story you like. Did you find one story you liked? You will look through the pages, read the story. If you like this story. No?
In there.
Yeah, find one story. This one. Read it. Do you think you like this story?
No.
You don't like this story? Okay, let's find a different story. Did we like this one's a little short. But do we like it?
No.
Okay, so Sarah, find one story. You have some good stories. Let's find one we like, okay? This one we didn't finish. This one is about Sarah. Do you like it?
Me.
You like it?
Me.
You want it?
No.
Okay, so you have to find you look for stories. Did you find the story you like?
Oh.
So which one did you find it? Did you start this part? Okay,
Okay,
so this is what you're going to do first. So read this one, and you read this, and you decide. Does it have a clear topic? Do you know what is the story about?
Peter.
So yes.
I love it.
This one?
Yes.
This one you did it right.
Yes. I like to like.
No, you have to pick one you wrote.
They give this.
I think you have. Do you want me to help?
Yes.
Okay, let's see.
Me.
I think this one is a good story.
And me.
And you wrote it. So let's see.
This is me.
That one is about you. Leo, did you find a story?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so when you find a story, and then there's not very many story pages in the book.
Yes.
A bear wants a hat. I like this story too. So you pick this one
This is the
or this one. You pick. You choose. You don't like this one? You like this one?
Surprise.
This one? Okay. So Leo, finish.
Surprise.
Surprise. I am surprised. Okay. So find a story, Ella.
The one is this.
We have to find a story first. Did you find what you like? Okay, so found a story?
Yes.
Okay, so everyone. Oh,
You're very thin. Oh my god.
okay.
Oh, very thin.
So
Oh my god. Oh.
after we choose the story, read the story, and then on page 133, we see a checklist. Not 132, 133. So you read the story and you finish the checklist. You decide, does this story have a clear topic? Do we know what is the story about? Yes? Then we check. No? We don't check. Next one. Does the story sequence of the story make sense? Does first thing happen first? Do we write first, I ate pizza, I bought pizza? That one doesn't make any sense because first you buy pizza, then you eat pizza. So if that's not the case, we don't make sense. But if we write, I bought pizza, I ate pizza, then yes, it makes sense. Check, okay? So you go through and you decide, does your story have this? If it has it, you put check. Doesn't have, no check, okay? So tell me if we have questions, but read your story one time and use it to help answer the question, yes. Clear topic, do we know what is the story about? Do we know what is the story about?
Yes.
Okay, then check. What is the story about, Leo?
Story about 뚱이. 스폰지밥 스타피쉬.
Patrick.
Yes.
Okay, the story is about Patrick. So this story is actually seems more about a picture. It tells all the details about the picture.
Yes.
Okay, so the topic of the picture. Does the sequence of the story, does first thing happen first? Does the time in the story make sense?
There is an ocean.
Does that make sense first?
Yes.
Okay, then you answer.
This is included.
Does the have you included 2 or 3 interesting details about the character? So who is the character in the story?
Partly
Patrick. Does it take 2 or 3 interesting details about Patrick?
Yes. Leo, Joe, and cute.
Okay, then you put check. You can give comparison is talk about one thing like another thing. So it is as cute as a kitten. It is as big as an elephant. This kind of thing. Do you remember when we did these ones? Does it have any?
Teacher, I'm sorry, include this one?
No. Include have. It's same with have. Have.
No.
Do you have something you can hear, see, touch, smell?
So why there is no one?
I don't know. Draw one line. Because you have an interesting conclusion end to the story. So these ones finished here? So you finish this page, Denise? Yes? Okay. So yeah, you can start that page. Tell me when you finish. So Sarah, this one finished?
Yes.
Okay. Good. So on this page, you can tell me more about the story. Where does the story take place? What time does the story take place? So Ron.
Teacher, number 10 is where?
Number 10, Alice's same question. Just draw a line. You finished? Where does the story take place? In the plane, yes. So students, when we finish our checklist, we will go on page 33. We will see questions, and we will have to write the answer of the story. So the first question, where does it take place? Maybe your story takes place in the forest.
Yes.
Okay, what time of the year? Maybe it takes place. It is in the winter. You have to think of these kind of things about your story. Okay?
Teacher,
Yes?
number 6.
Mm-hmm.
What should I write?
Number 6. What are some details that you have used to support the main idea? So, remember, the main idea for your is going to be coronavirus. So it is about coronavirus. This is the main idea. So any details that talk about coronavirus are talking about the details. So I can't remember what you say in the journal, but if you say, we don't have school because of coronavirus, then that is detail talking about coronavirus, okay? So we don't have school. Talking about coronavirus is detail. So that can be number 6.
Teacher, something, the touch was
Touch, smell, hearing, seeing, tasting. What is in your story? I think your story is the one with all, right?
yes. What can I?
Right, all. Touch, seeing, hearing, smelling, tasting.
How about number 7?
Number 7. So in your story, are there things you can touch, taste, see, hear, smell?
No.
No. Okay. Because
Because
yours is an about story. Okay, good. So, I will check Janice. Okay, so. Yes, no place. Because yours is more about and not so much story.
yes. Hello, I'm
Okay. So the next thing I'm going to have. Tired, Sarah?
Yes.
I'm sorry you were tired. So in this story, what is something interesting we know about people? So you write a story about 3 kids. What is one thing you want to tell about the kids? Are they smart? Are they cute? So here I want you to tell me, you can think maybe it doesn't say in the story, but you can add more. So what do you want to say about the people in the story? What kind of people are they? Is it you, Alice?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about what kind of person are you? I am in the airplane, but we have to tell interesting things about Alice. What kind of person is Alice? Is she? She has glasses. Okay, good. Okay, so what we're going to do next. Okay.
I am done. I am done.
Only Leo knows the time
Yes, sir.
because Leo is God.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's true. Okay, so your story. Oh, so students. What?
Oh my God.
We have to now do one editing.
My name is Madeline.
Finished, Sarah? Or almost finished? Finished? Okay, good. So we can talk about all together. I will check.
My name is Madeline.
2. one story, every person will write one story, and then we are going to do editing. Because,
We are students.
what?
We are students because we are students.
Yeah, that's what we will do editing. But adults do editing too. Grown-ups, I will write something, I will edit, even though I am not a student. Under your report cards, I tell comments. This student is good this thing. And then I edit the comment to make it a perfect comment before I give it to your mom and dad. So when we edit, I talked about revising and editing before. We take one sentence. I run. We make better. I run home slowly
At night.
at night. But we also have another part of editing, and that one is if I write this,
I use it.
this one has problems.
And she grammar.
This one has problems, yes? And what is else mean? And what is the other problem?
Yes. I don't have yes.
What? This one? What S? This one S is good.
No yes.
This is S good because she, we have problems.
And the question, period.
I know. No, this actually should be two sentences.
Yes.
This one is a little bit hard. Guys, be nice. Okay, but this one's a little bit hard, but it should be two sentences because we have two people, two verbs. So, I want you guys to write one story, and after you write story, we are going to practice editing. So, I have one question. So, idea, how do you feel Leo writes one story, Alice reads Leo's story?
Oh,
Alice writes one story, Sarah reads Alice's story. Sarah writes one story, Janice reads, Leo reads. Is that okay, or do we don't like that idea? You don't like that idea? Okay, then every student can write their story and read that story. But this time, every student is going to write one story. And I want you to write a real story. So, I want it to be
Lie.
lie.
Do you want lie?
I want a lie.
Okay.
So, it has to have, like we did, Janice was not here, but other students remember, like we did with midterm, we need to have character. The character has to have feelings and a problem, and it has to have conclusion to character's problem. Sarah is ghost?
It's pretty surprising. Wow.
Wow, Sarah. I did not know I was teaching ghost students today. Okay, so this is what we want to write about. One story. Tell me if we need help thinking of ideas, okay? So you can think about any character. Janice is ghost too? Janice, are you okay?
Yes.
Okay. No, this one. So I gave everyone paper. We are going to write one story. These students, so students, we are going to write one story and then we will edit story, and edit story will be homework, okay? So today we finish the story, we have 20 minutes, and then we will finish the story, and then that will be the end of class, okay? So let's start writing. Leo is ghost too? So we have 1, 2, 3 ghosts. Alice is only not ghost, and Alice is ghost. Okay, now all students are ghosts. That is what you do for ghosts. Ghost. Go away. Ghosts go away. Remember going? No. I'm not going there. So, students, tell me if we have a problem thinking of ideas for story, okay? But we are going to all write one story. So, if you go in the back of the book, we have page 139. We have ideas for stories. Alice, your ideas are all about your life. My school, my clothes, my shoes, my pencil case, my pencil, my pen, my cousin, my book, my birthday, my School bag. All about Alice.
아니면 퍼플 스티커. 와.
Because you didn't finish. So, so guys, think of some story ideas. Let's you guys should write a story about a pirate. A story.
No, I am not colorful.
You can write a mystery story.
Mystery.
You can write a story about a ghost.
Madeline and the sister write the
You can write a love story.
sister write the new story.
You write a new story. I gave you paper. Write one new story.
the story.
You can write a story about Frog and Toad.
And the Madeline and Madeline story.
You can write a story about me. I'm okay. You can write a story about
Alice.
You can only if Alice says okay.
No.
So no Leo, no Alice, no stories about classmates.
Sarah.
You can write a story about
Agnes.
zombies.
좀비 hello 좀비.
Zombie puppies. You can write a story about
뽀로로.
kittens that fly. Or Pororo.
Fly.
Think of one. Think of one story you want to write.
Bird.
You want to write a story about a bird?
No.
So think of a story you want to write,
I
okay?
want to write the
It can be a story about you.
I know my computer.
A story about Mrs. Turtle. Perfect. It doesn't really have to be live. If you guys, it doesn't also students, it needs to be.
You're golden. I have
Is it cute?
yes.
Good. B. So students, it doesn't really, everyone let's focus. It doesn't really need to be live. It just needs to be story. Okay? So if it can be, Alice, you wrote your birthday, it can be a story in your life about your birthday. It can be a story about yesterday, but it needs to have problem and conclusion.
Teacher,
Mhm.
give me present.
Give you a present?
Because
Today,
my birthday. Today is my birthday. No, today is my birthday.
Leo, I like
Dennis' birthday.
Real Janice's birthday?
Yes.
Real?
Yes.
Okay, I will give you chocolate on Friday. Okay, not real. Okay, so students,
Today I am my birthday.
I don't have candy.
It is like.
So students, let's think of a story, okay? It can be hard to think of a story, but here are some ideas. It can be a story about your life. It can be yesterday. It can be your birthday. It can be a story about what you did on Christmas. Think of one story idea, okay? It can be a story about sports. Sarah is playing basketball.
Really?
No, she's dancing. It can be a story about basketball. If you like basketball.
I don't like basketball.
Why?
I like singing.
You like singing?
Yes.
It can be a swimming. It can be a story about swimming. One little boy is afraid to swim, but then he learns how to swim.
Oh, and then
That can be a story.
player.
Last time, Leo wrote a story about Usain Bolt. You wrote a story about Usain Bolt. Do you remember?
This?
Yes, you wrote.
Maybe.
You can write that one story, okay? No. It can be hard to think of a story. You guys have 15 minutes. Ghost story? Okay, Alice will write a ghost story. So Sarah and Leo, let's think about what kind of story you will write.
Madeline.
Okay, story about Madeline. Madeline has to write a story about Madeline's life.
Sarah.
Alright, sorry. Sarah will write about Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah, student you will write about, or Sarah teacher?
Lydia. Sarah.
Sarah.
Sarah and Lydia.
Sarah will write the story Sarah teacher or Sarah student?
teacher. Sarah and Toner friends. Sarah and Lydia is sister.
You can write stories like Frog and Toad are friends. Sarah and Lydia are sisters. They play games.
No, Sarah. Sarah.
Sarah is Sarah's birthday. Sarah's birthday. Perfect. Good story.
No, Sarah's birthday.
But the story can be Sarah's birthday. The story can be lie, remember?
Sarah birthday.
Sarah's birthday.
Birthday. My birthday.
What? Today's my birthday. When is your birthday, Denise?
Today.
Real?
Yes.
Okay, Denise, I will make chocolate Friday.
No.
Real? Okay. Denise, I will make chocolate Friday. Happy birthday, Denise.
Yay.
Do you want the birthday bread?
No.
Wait, Denise is Leo. Wait.
Huh?
Okay, finish writing. I will explain. Okay, we'll finish the video too because the rest of the class will just be writing one story. Okay? Goodbye.
Today a reader, tomorrow a leader. SSET English Town.